What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today I got for you my first thoughts and impressions on Path of Exile 2. Now I want to precursor this by saying that I am married, I have a full-time job, and I haven't really played that many ARPGs, honestly. I played religiously Diablo 2, not when it came out, because it came out I think around the same time I was born, because I'm 28. I did beat the entire game on normal, and then on like the next two difficulties, I forget what those are again, it's like nightmare mode or something. I did all the cow levels. I got pretty much all the best gear on like every class back in the day. I haven't played any game, any ARPG really religiously since then. I haven't played POE 1. I played Last Epoch. I didn't play that much of D3. I played a little bit of it. I didn't play any of Diablo 4. So that's kind of the precursor there. Now, I've spent about 10 hours, 12 hours going through PoE 2 so far. I beat the first act and the second act on one character. I did a sorceress frost mage build, frost fire build, and I was having a great time. I thought it was a really great game. I loved the story, I loved the voice acting, I loved the graphics, I loved the progression, and then I started noticing that people online were giving it a lot of hate because it was too difficult and too this and that and whatever. I was thinking about this, and there are a few things which I feel are being problematic, and if you don't have good RNG in real life, you're kind of screwed when it comes to that. The first thing is, I would say, drops. If your drops doesn't match up to your build, you're kind of screwed. There's not really anything you can do about it. So for example, if I'm trying to build a minion build and I don't get the exact drops I need, I'm pretty much screwed. If I'm doing some sort of a melee build, I'm screwed if I don't get this, and that. And a lot of the gear is tied in directly to professions because everything is exponential. So for example, I had to hard swap from doing an electric build because I only got things that dropped frost after. So I had to, thankfully I was still in like level 4 or 5. I was able to hard swap over to frost and then kind of get a feel for it and do all the skills and the passives and everything for that. But I can tell you right now, I've only gotten 2 legendary drops and I just finished Act 2. I got a few yellows, most of it was pretty useless. So there's that. Now, in order to prevent people from getting effectively soft locked out of the content, you'd have to make it easier to be able to respec, as well as you'd have to be able to make it easier for players to get currencies, skill tokens, and passive tokens, and just generally just more currencies. So players, especially in the first act, can kind of tweak their builds and see what they like and not like and whatever. The next thing is that the rolling mechanic is really annoying, especially if you're a sorceress. So I was doing something completely different, then I swapped, and I went for a full AoE frost build. So a lot of enemies were just freezing before they even got to me. Now I got to a point where enemies would not fall over as easily anymore around the end of Act 2. So I was starting to have a difficulty because I couldn't dodge through enemies, as well as some of the iframes being a little bit off, but that's besides the point. So I would say that you could probably make the dodge roll being able to go through enemies, especially, you know, just so if you get cornered, you can at least get out of it a little bit. Now, on to some of the other things where people say, ooh, well, the bosses are too hard, the mobs are too hard. No, it's perfect as it is. You just need to allow players to be able to overcome it in an easier manner. That makes it more fun, so they can actually tweak their builds out, so they don't just have to spend the entire time re-leveling and re-going through everything over and over again. And that's really the main thing which I've seen here. And I think the last thing to think of here is that whenever I see an ARPG on Twitch or on YouTube or whatever, I think of a guy spamming through an entire map, chaining all these mobs together, and then just AoEing them down. With like some sort of lifesteal build or some kind of build that basically makes them take no damage. They can go AFK. They just, their right mouse button, just press down, and that's all they do. And you don't have to worry about anything else. You just literally sit there and you're just talking to whoever you want to in real life, or you're doing whatever you want. You're zoning out, and you're not even having to play the game because you made a perfect AFK build. Now, this is not the game for that. This is a very, very different build, and I think that's perfect, absolutely perfect to do it this way. And that's pretty much all I got for you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hope that helped. Peace out for now.